Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Masterpiece, the most inspirational show in the land. Our goal here is to inspire people to get active and to stay active. Today's masterpiece, hailing from Texas, she's a mother. She's a business professional. She is a professional bodybuilder, and she's doing it all with lupus. So stay tuned after this introduction to hear from today's masterpiece, a true inspiration, Miss Keasha Williams. Stay tuned.
Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go.
Cool.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I am fine. And like I said, thank you for coming onto the show to be an inspiration. Hopefully, like I said, the goal is to inspire people to get active, stay active. And if we can inspire one, we have done our job. So thank you for your support
Absolutely.
in
Thank
that
you for
endeavor.
having me.
Yes, ma'am. So getting straight into it. So we talked about in the introduction about uh, being a professional bodybuilder and all the things you accomplished in fitness and doing it all with lupus. So, in what year were you diagnosed with lupus, and how did that make you feel?
Um, it was a while ago. I'd have to say 2011 is when I got my official diagnosis. Um, I honestly felt relieved to just get it out there. I had symptoms since I was a kid, and they didn't really study lupus in the South like that. It wasn't something that was diagnosed a lot of. Usually, if your bones ache, they said it was growing pains or you had, arthritis or something to that effect. So I was a full out adult before I even got the diagnosis. And once I got it, it just made everything make sense. And then from there, there was treatment. I think that was the hardest part at first was the beginning levels of treatment because it had to be so aggressive. But current day, not even an issue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So overall, since being diagnosed, how has it physically, mentally impacted your life?
Who physically, I would say it came down to learning where my limitations were and then deciding not to be the superstar. In spite of that, you have to listen to your body. So I know that certain weather changes have me almost incapacitated at times. And then there are times that you would look at me and wouldn't even know I don't wear it. I honestly run away from talking about it. So I'm just starting to get to the point where I actually open up and say, okay, this is also a part of who I am. So I guess that would tie into the mental, because it's a silent illness. A lot of people look at you and say, well, you don't look sick, or they try to qualify your illness. There were times that I was on a walker. There were times that, friends would have to come over and help me do things. And they knew, but to just come out and tell the story that I had those limitations, I really didn't want to deal with the perception that it was over exaggerated. So, you learn to kind of keep it to yourself and suffer in silence. Um, I've since grown out of that. A good day is a good day, a great day is a great day, and a day that doesn't feel good is a day that just doesn't feel good.
Okay. Yeah. So with lupus and all its limitations, so you diagnosed in 2011. You've been a professional bodybuilder for 4 years, so they'll put you in 2020. So what led you into bodybuilding with lupus?
My sister, honestly, she was a bodybuilder first, and I used to listen to her check-ins with her coach, and I'm like, why is he asking you to do that? And then I realized slowly but surely she wasn't doing the things that we used to do together. We would always go to brunch, and then she started telling me that she was going to compete, and she was like, well, why don't you do it with me? And so her coach kind of jumped on a call with me and just introduced me to, what the sport would look like. But I had a lot of weight to lose at the time. A lot of people don't know that. I actually was about close to 170. So that's where I learned about transformation and lifestyle. So I had to drop weight first before I even became a competitor. Obviously, I've changed coaches since then, which to my benefit actually helped me in bodybuilding. I relied less on medicine, and I can actually say because I followed his protocol from end to end for the last 3 years, I haven't had to take medicine. So
Oh wow.
I know, and a lot of people I wouldn't tell everybody that a diet can heal you, quote unquote, but I will say it makes it so much easier. When I came, when I first got in the sport, I had to have fried everything. I wasn't as active, and I used to be an athlete, but transitioning into switching coaches and then eating more food, more whole foods at that, actually lessened the symptoms, so much so that I was able to go to my rheumatologist and say, okay, I'm ready to completely come off meds, like what do we need to do? And he didn't hesitate to say, let's do it. So I pulled my coach in, and anytime there was something new, a new symptom change, I actually made him a part of my team as much as I did my physicians. Because if that's the person that's instructing me on what I should be eating, then it's fair for him to learn about the condition as well. So very instrumental in that. Still current day, maybe have to take an anti-inflammatory here and there, but that's about it.
Oh, well, kudos to your coach.
I know. I tell everybody like that literally changed the scope of this disease for me. And obviously I had to follow the plan. Now, don't get me wrong, I had to do my work. And it comes down to being honest. If there's something physically that I couldn't do, I had to not be the strong woman and try to do it. I had to say, okay, this doesn't work, for how I'm feeling right now. And then him trust that I'm really listening to my body in that moment. So yes, definitely kudos to my coach.
Oh yeah, good job. So congratulations, good job, coach. Congratulations to you. So with
Thank you.
having to lose weight, I guess the motivation and encouragement from your sister, and with the lupus. I mean, what made you believe you could be a professional or get your pro card in bodybuilding? I mean, what moment?
Ooh, what moment? It's crazy. I have my posing coach who is an Olympian. We were on the same team together before all that happened. And then coming into the team that I'm on now with my current coach, literally watching how hard they worked. This I honestly just like the idea of wearing the suit and being hood fine. Like I thought I could have got by with that for the longest, but that's not bodybuilding. That's something else. So
Yeah, that's summertime
literally,
fine.
that's what I thought. But you learn in the sport that it takes a level of dedication that most people don't have. And the support that they gave me, that you can do this, like you have to see yourself doing it. Because I started at 38. I didn't come into this sport in my 20s. Like I was on the cusp of being 39 years old. So I'm already past master's age. And I think that was the thing, is to do it because I wanted to live longer. But then I have this hard time with not trying to be the best. My very first show under the old coach, I got spanked. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that was it was hard. So when I got with my new coach, I already hated bodybuilding. Like, so he had the
Oh wow.
task of trying to make me appreciate the sport with one more show. Just do one show and see how you feel. And we went from, I think, like 12th, 13th place up to I got a third place. And then I kind of was up there with women who were my age. I competed in masters that show. And I was like, okay, so I'm not the anomaly here. But then to place well and open, you start to learn a little bit more. And from there, it was just, all right, I'll give it one more show and then one more show. And by the time I hit that fourth show, I got my pro card. And I haven't looked back, honestly.
Okay. Well, congratulations. So
Thank you.
very inspiring, very interesting story. So outside of, I mean, being in bodybuilding myself, I know how hard it is to stick to the workouts for one, but it's even more difficult to stick to the meal plan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with having lupus and then those other two challenges that I just mentioned, what are your biggest challenges in fitness and how do you overcome those?
Um, Honestly, during my workouts, you know, my coach Trey gives me a rep range and he'll say, we're going for 15. And my competitive mind is like, well, no, I gotta go to at least 18 because the girl who thinks she's gonna beat me is only doing 15. And so, you learn to push yourself and then you start to have the same voice when your coach isn't present. Um, that diet literally is the thing that holds me together because I've only had maybe one or two shows where I didn't flare up right before the show.
Oh
And
wow.
it's never without incident, and the only thing I can rely on is my diet. Because we had a show where I literally was on bed rest, like, I could not go any further than the bathroom, I couldn't be stressed out, I couldn't, move around too much, so all I had was the diet, and I still got it done, and so sometimes I hear people say, "Oh, I can't do it," and I'm like, "You can if that's the only choice you have," Again, I don't wear lupus as this badge, but it's pretty rewarding when I know that I've gotten up there in spite of, and that's the thing that I tell anybody is that when you look back, those stage photos will say one thing, but you had the moment. In that moment that you ate the food, you did the workouts, you did the absolute best you could do and left nothing on the table. It doesn't matter the placing after that because you already won. It just so happens I was winning as well.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you still winning. So just so you
Yeah.
say, hey, you look great. So
Thank
wouldn't
you.
know that you had lupus or anything else. So yeah, good job. So uh so what's your source of inspiration? What motivates you? What keeps you going?
I have a support system, and it spans all the way back to Mississippi to my parents, my siblings, my friends, my initial core group of friends that have known me since we were, 3 and 5 years old. Um, I do, and I keep mentioning I have like the best coach in the world. Let me tell it. I don't really care what anybody else thinks because I I do a lot. And sometimes you have to have people that show up for you to say, "Okay, let me take this from you." And a lot of times you have to trust that they'll get it done or that it really is going to relieve you in some way. I've never had to question that with my support system. I'd never have to think twice, if I look in the audience, who am I not going to see? I'm going to see somebody, but I also know on the front row who I'm going to hear. I'm going to hear the same "there you go" that you can hear in any recording, of me on stage, and that's what I need. I need to know that when I walk out there she goes, and I hold on to that if nothing else. And I even teach my clients the same thing. Like, if you don't hear another voice, you'll hear mine because I know what that did for me. I know what it feels like. You get into peak week and you see those messages, "Happy peak week, hang in there, I support you."
Oh yeah.
That feels good. And I would hate if no one ever experienced that thing. But because I know where I'm gonna get that from, I know that I owe it back to them to give them the absolute best I possibly can, on show day and not leave it all out there.
So outside of I guess coming off your meds, reducing your meds and everything else, what's the best thing? What is the best thing that's coming out of? Is there anything better that came out of bodybuilding and living a fitness lifestyle other than that?
Ooh, so many good things. The relationships. And I do mean the real bona fide relationships. Those people you meet backstage that you never would have known,
Yeah.
the expediters. I've even made friends with the photographers. Like, you don't get that. I don't think any other sport will give you that. Um, the business relationships, my physical therapist, my coach is my best friend. My posing clients tend to end up being my friends, and I use that term not loosely at all because in order to be my friend, I have to feel like you're some level of family. So, I got that and I can wholeheartedly appreciate it because I'm not even from Texas. I don't have a single family member here except the family I created through this sport. Not even really with coworkers because we've been so siloed. So I have to say this sport has given me my people.
Okay. Very good. So what's next? What's next for you?
Well, I am a natural pro bodybuilder. I 100% plan to stay that way. I do want to go into some different federations and hopefully give the stage maybe a year or two and call it good. Because I think after having such a great season this year, I think it's important to know when your time is up.
Yeah.
Not that I don't think I'm a great competitor, but I think it's time for me to do the thing that drives me, which is leadership. I'm already a coach and I'm doing, well at that. I have my first two competitors both turned pro and they're still very new. So it's time for me to support them. And I don't think they can get 100% of me if I'm prepping. So I had to make that decision. But the overall goal is I'd love to judge. I think being in a space where I can take what I've learned and what I'm currently doing and, provide feedback to others sounds great. It's something that I'm interested in. And then, after that, maybe promote a show. I tend to like being behind the scenes and being in the driver's seat at the same time. And I think that's the one job you can do in this sport that really lets you do that. So, assembling the Avengers, like I say, and then possibly doing that in a couple years.
Okay. Very nice. So keep me informed of your upcoming projects and everything else. So I think I seen you at the show. The
Yeah,
yeah,
you were up against my teammate.
who's your
Yeah,
teammate?
Burn. Yeah,
Oh, Vern. What's his last name? Jennings, something
something
like
like
that.
he's tall.
Yeah,
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 he's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah,
really
older
tall.
gentleman.
Yep.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. All right, gotcha. So you started at 38. Your sister encouraged you.
Mhm.
You have lupus in the background. So someone's in the audience may be towing the line as far as whether or not they decide to get into fitness, like I said, get active, stay active. What piece of advice can you lend our audience to encourage them to get out there to get active and stay active?
The first thing is believe in something higher than yourself. Um, I believe in God. I'm a Christian, but believe in something that's going to drive you and drive that decision because you have to do it for you, and that's what's going to motivate you. To get there, you're going to have to ask for help. But then outside of that, realizing that when you make that choice, you're making the choice to save your life. And that's not something I say loosely, but even my physicians say the same thing. Like, Keisha, we've seen you at the very lowest, and then you walk in here and you're like a totally different person. And to be that when, a lot of doctors don't like the sport of bodybuilding because they naturally think that it's not natural, that you can't do this naturally. So to know that I have the support of them, and I would say, someone thinking about it should do the same thing. If you haven't been active, involve your doctors, talk to them about what your plans are. Talk to a qualified nutritionist. Anybody can tell you to eat chicken and broccoli. But it's a little deeper than that. You want to know about foods that may create inflammation, that may have an adverse reaction, and learn your body, but then also be kind to yourself. Getting started was hard. I mean, I will not say that I was in the gym every single day, checking off every single box when I first got started. I didn't even understand the sport required that. I didn't know that. But as I learned it, when I aged into this sport, I realized that my results were a direct reflection of my work. So there's that. It could be the same thing if you want to lose weight. If you want to lose a pound, you can't go eat a pound of food.
Yeah.
You have to know that there are steps you need to take. But then also realizing that it's bigger than you and that you will need support. And I'm learning myself not to work in the shadows so much that it's okay to come out and say, I'm doing this thing because there's other people who may be doing the same thing that may want to support you, or you put your heads together and come up with ideas. Um, that's one of the key things that I've learned is to like get from behind the curtain, so to speak, and just say, okay, here I am, and this is what I'm attempting to do, and I need support. And the right people will find you. I am 100% positive the right people will find you, and you go from there.
All right. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for the inspiration. Hopefully, inspire someone.
I
And
hope
if you are
so.
inspired, yeah, please let us know. DM me, even Miss Williams, that you've been inspired to get active, to even stay active. But you talked about posing and your prep and your clients and everything else. So, I want to take a time, take a minute to talk about your business, Powerhouse
Thank
Posing
you.
and Prep Coaching.
Mhm.
So here we go. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Oh, okay, my shameless plug. Well, the one thing I can say this sport has given me is stage confidence, and what I like to do is share that with other women in the sport who want to do the same. So even from beginning walking in high heels, if you're not even thinking about the show setting just yet, you just want to be more confident in who you are. I specialize in confidence coaching. Additionally, I do operate like a concierge service, meaning my clients don't have to think when it's time to get on stage. I help you with picking out your suit, even finding the best suit maker that's going to work best with your personality. I know a lot of folks in this industry with tanning, makeup, hair. It's not too many people I don't know. So I actually get to share that with my clients, and I'm excited to do so. The prep coaching side, I do it by interview. I want to make sure that it's a good fit for me and I'm a good fit for you. And that also it's going to mesh well with the current ladies that I have on my team because we operate just like a family. So if we're looking for, a family centered setting, then I would say Powerhouse may be the place for you, but we won't know until you click my link down there at the bottom at www.fitsw.com/powerhouse and let's find out.
Well, there you have it, Powerhouse Fitness. So is it all in person, or can you do? Are you offering online as well?
I do both online and in person.
All right. Well, very good. So if you're interested, you in Texas, wherever you are in the world online, then please
Find
hit Miss
me.
up with for Powerhouse Fitness and live out your dream, your goal of if not bodybuilding, then being more healthy, being active and staying active.
And
So
there's places in this sport for everyone. Don't forget, there's transformation, there's wings, there's athletic. It doesn't have to be the all muscular divisions. And I love the fact that bodybuilding gives us that.
this is very true. So I've seen it for myself. So yeah, like I said, the goal: get active, stay active, because there's an epidemic out there that can be stopped as far as heart disease and everything else. And it's all about getting out there and just doing a little exercise. So our goal here is to inspire. Thank you, Miss Williams, for your support and inspiring people to get active, to stay active. You are a true masterpiece, a true inspiration. Any closing thoughts for the audience?
Thank you. I think that's the part that got me tongue-tied, but thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm always open if anyone has any private questions where they want to message me and talk about my journey with lupus. I'm getting better at that, and so I welcome any and all questions.
Well, you can follow Miss Williams here on Instagram. Love my black. Please follow me, VAW413 Fitness. And if you're interested in being featured as a masterpiece, please DM me. And Miss Williams, if you know anyone that's interested,
I do. I have people. I will send you people. This was fun.
yeah, please share the information. So hope we inspire someone to get active, stay active. Again, this is the masterpiece, the most inspirational podcast in the land. Thank you for viewing. Please follow, like, share. Until next time, peace.